Hello, it's Lisa Dickey from Dickey's Cooking School, and today we're going to make another healthy lunch. So today we're going to make white bean Romano dip, hummus, and we're going to make our own flatbread and season it. So for this, to make hummus, you definitely need a food processor. You don't need a big, huge one, but you need a small one. This is a can of white Romano beans, and they've been really rinsed. Just because it's got a lot of goopy, starchy liquid in it, and you definitely want that rinsed off, okay? And same goes for the chickpeas. So we're just gonna make a small batch of hummus. So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna take, let's start with the white bean first. We're gonna take about a cup of white beans. Okay. We're gonna add two cloves of garlic, a little bit of pepper, a little bit of salt, and then this rosemary here, we're just going to, this is fresh rosemary, we're just gonna peel some off and throw it in here. This is a jar of tahini, which is sesame paste, and I'm gonna drizzle in about a tablespoon. I'm gonna put my food processor on. And while it's running, I'm gonna drizzle a little bit of olive oil in just until it binds, okay? So get that going. If you're making a smaller batch, sometimes you just need to give it a little bit of a smooth down so everything catches. So here is our rosemary white bean dip. If you don't like rosemary or you don't have it, you could use basil, fresh or dried. You could use oregano. It's a really easy, fast dip. It's got fiber, it's got protein, and it's a great little side for your lunch. Okay, next let's do some hummus. Okay, so hummus we're gonna add a little bit. It's mostly the same, but we're going to add lemon juice and we're going to add a spice called cumin. So again, let's go with a cup of our chickpeas. And again, we're going to put about a tablespoon or two of tahini. Throw in some salt, some pepper and some salt. Couple of cloves of garlic, and then let's squeeze in some lemon juice. So the same thing, we're going to drizzle our olive oil in, and then let's add a couple of really generous pinches of cumin. Cumin is one of those spices that is great in Mexican food. It's really good in lots of Mediterranean dishes, and it's also really great, obviously, in Indian food, or it's obvious to me. Okay, here we go. We're gonna put it on again, and then we're going to drizzle in our olive oil. I'm gonna stop and give it a little scrape just so it can combine. Some of that garlic's not cooked in or ground up. I'm gonna squeeze a little more lemon in. hummus. It's got a little bit of cumin on top and a little bit of paprika just to make it look nice. Then we've got our white bean dip. And now we're gonna make our flatbread. So this is just store-bought naan, okay? Kind of blando, but pretty good. So what we're going to do first, we're gonna preheat our oven to 400 degrees, okay? We got a cookie sheet. If you don't have a silicone mat, just line it with parchment paper and that just makes it for a really easy cleanup. We got a couple of pieces of naan here. I'm giving it a nice coat with olive oil. Okay, if you don't have olive oil, you could use vegetable oil, you could use canola oil, or you could use corn oil. But you want kind of what's called a neutral oil, okay? I'm gonna sprinkle a little bit of salt, because I like it, on both. I'm gonna also sprinkle a little bit of pepper, for the same reason. If you don't like salt or pepper, don't put it on. And to that, I'm going to add, I'm gonna do a little sprinkle of oregano. You could use dried parsley, dried basil, you could use rosemary. It's really whatever you like and really what's available, okay? I've got a little minced garlic. I'm gonna put that on top too. Sort of like an everything bagel, but a flatbread. And I'm also gonna put some dried onions, like so. And then I'm gonna bake that. I'm gonna bake it for about 8 minutes. And then I'm just gonna cut them into triangles with a pizza cutter, and that is a nice, quick lunch. Cut a few vegetables, some celery, some carrots, some broccoli, and you've got a nice balanced lunch. You've got protein and veg and some delicious carb. And that is a quick, easy 20-minute lunch.